Well, hey there, guys, and welcome back to the pitch. First of all, before we get going, we planned to have all four of us on here, and it dwindled down to just me and Cale, who's joining me on the other side here. So basically, what we're going to do is just talk about and go over the schedule that came out the other day, and talk about what we like about it, and explain some things to you if you don't understand. So first, we're going to start with the dates. Cale, give us the dates and why we chose those dates.
All right. Well, you're totally right. First of all, about it being all four of us, and then just me and you. We're all literally in different places now, so it's really hard to get us all.
It's tough.
And they were bummed about not being on, but that's how it goes. So the dates. We ended up going with November 12th, which is part of Veterans Day weekend. Friday is off. For most places, so that's why we went with that one. And we were going to go with Thanksgiving, but we couldn't hold a bunch of people, and it turns out it was going to work better. Surprisingly, kind of, that more people could do that weekend than Thanksgiving, so that's why we did that. And then that first regular season session is at 7th Avenue Park in Longview. Big open field. It's going to be a good spot to have it. It's got cover in case the weather's crappy. It's got bathrooms. People like those things.
Yeah,
so
those are important things.
Yes, and so people get kind of confused on how all this is going to work, even though we've explained it a bunch of times. Each team's going to play 6 regular season games. That's double what we've been doing in the past. So there's 2 regular season sessions, 3 games per team in one session. That'll be just like all the other ones. 3 in the next. That'll be just like all the ones we've done in the past, and that'll make up the regular season. And then the playoffs will be just for the 6 playoff teams, and it'll be the same. We've gone over that before, but the first session, the one on November 12th, starts at 8. So that'll be a day one. And then the second regular season session is December 23rd. That's Friday, and that's going to be at night. And it's going to be at Castle Rock Middle School. And and then the playoffs will be a week later, December 30th, another Friday, and that'll be at night too. Both those will start at 7 o'clock. It'll last a couple hours that they are. And the reason that they're going to be at night is because it's going to get dark earlier. But Brock knows about this.
Cale, put up the dough, people.
Well, see, what happened was, we played JAL 11 under the lights last winter, and it was awesome. So we were just like, you know what, because this whole time we've been trying to come out with the schedule and everything, it was like, well, we need to find a place where we can do it before it gets dark out, or where there's already park lights or something. And we were like, screw this. So we went out and we got some lights that are rechargeable, which means they don't need to be plugged in anywhere. And we got enough to where the whole thing's going to be lit up. We had to pay a little money, but it's worth it because we like to make this cool and fun. So yeah, Castle Rock Middle School field's going to be totally lit up. We don't need to plug the lights in anymore. We're going to do the same thing for the playoff session. It's at Riverside Park. It'll be awesome. That's all we can say.
Well, because it's hard to be able to get a session in before it gets dark too. If you try to do it in the day.
We were just like, we're not going to deal with this anymore. We're just going to get the lights. We're just going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So now we can literally play in the future wherever we want, whenever we want. We just bring the lights, set them up, boom. It's lit up. Yeah. It's cool. People like playing under the lights. It'll
be a lot of fun.
We're all about making this cool, so that's what I did.
All right, so now we're going to go into the schedule, but first I want to say this because some people were still complaining about the schedule, thinking that we're giving some teams easier schedules than others. The schedule is basically already set because each team plays every team in their own conference, and then also plays. So if a team took third in their conference, they'll play the team that took third in the other conference. So we're not like screwing schedules here or anything. It's already set, so just calm down a little.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to complain about we're playing a tougher non-conference team than the other one, it's like there's no better way to do it. This is what the NFL does, so that's how it is. But I think the other cool thing, Brock, that we need to touch on real quick before we get into this is the nationally broadcast games.
Yes.
I know you're gonna love that, being
I'm
far
gonna.
away. You may
Yes.
only be able to see in person the December 23rd meeting, and there's a lot of other people out there that are part of this, owners and just like random fans across the United States that like have been asking us to do this. And so we want to thank everyone who's part of this league that's built this to the point too, where this is like a thing where we can actually put the games on Twitter and Facebook, and people are gonna watch it actually, and like think it's cool. And whoever, if you're playing, you can go back and watch your game later on too. Like the streams will stay on; they're not just gonna be live and then gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be a cool thing.
Yeah, so it's going to be really cool because I know I'm going to want to watch them because I won't be there for all the games. I know like Garrett will want to watch them too, and there'll be a bunch of people. So that will be available for you as well.
And we didn't just pick random games to put on here. Like,
Yeah.
we tried to set it up like what the other pro leagues do, where it's like the big games of the season. They're going to be on Facebook, kind of like how NBA will put their big ones on TNT every Thursday, and the NFL will do NBC Sunday night. So, not every team gets to play on Facebook, but every team's going to get a national game, and the other one's Twitter. Twitter's not going to be seen as much.
Yeah.
But you're going to get on. Every team's got one national game at least. The better teams are going to have more.
Yeah.
So that's just how it works.
So if you want to be on Facebook, make sure your team's good.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to start going through the actual schedule and pointing out what we like. Obviously, we can start with the opening game, which is the Missouri Express and the Bay Area Fog.
Yeah, I liked it. The thing about the opening game is you want it to be a good game and, exciting and all that, but it doesn't need to be the best game of the season because it's the opening game. You're going to be excited to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
You're excited to see it. It's, the kickoff of the season. It's a big deal naturally, no matter who's playing. So, but Express Fog, that's going to be a good game. It's a rematch of the American Conference Finals. The Express. Well, this is an interesting stat, too. It's like the last 4 seasons, the defending champs have lost in the opening game.
True, yeah.
I'm not going to go say that the Express are losing this game, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. But I will say that Fog Express is still a Facebook-worthy game. Not just because it's the opening game, but it is a Facebook-worthy game.
And it is on Facebook, obviously.
Yes.
And also the plate ceremony beforehand will be on the Facebook broadcast, and then it will just lead into the game. So,
yeah.
There's that.
Okay, so we're not going to go through every game, obviously, but we are going to hit the next one, which is the Bison Lynx. And this one is interesting because you pointed out, Cale, one of these teams who, if you're familiar with this league, you know they are not the best teams in the league right now, but one of them is going to start out 1-0.
Yeah, they are. And, that's one of the things, like what you were saying just a second ago. We're not going to go through every game. No, we're not, because now there's
there's a lot of games.
There's so many. I don't even remember who's playing who. Before you could memorize the whole master schedule. Now you can't. But anyway, Bison Lynx. Yeah, I mean, one of them is going to start 1-0, and the thing is, going into the second session, the back half of the regular season, one of those teams is going to be at least 1-2, which means at most they're going to be like a game back, just one game back of being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or what the conference they're in. So I think the loser of this game is going to be in really big trouble the rest of the way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really big trouble.
Yeah.
But I don't know who I think is going to win. Probably the Lynx, but you never know. We seem to think the Lynx are going to be improved.
Improved at least, yeah. Okay, Cale, what game sticks out to you next in this schedule here?
Well, and this isn't just because I'm on the Cobras, but it's the opening game for the Cobras and the Waves. They play each other at 12:30.
Yes.
And that game's not broadcast at all.
This is one that I would.
Game can be broadcast, but
yeah. I would have liked to seen this one. I liked the broadcast schedule, but this one would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, I would have. But not everything's perfect. But yeah, so
But it will be a good game.
It will be, and the interesting thing is that the Waves lose that. The Waves' second game, which isn't broadcast either, and would be a good one to have been broadcast. But the Waves' second game of the season is against the Express because they both third. They have to play each other.
That's a tough opening 2 games for the Waves there.
As good as I think they're going to be this year, compared to last season, they could be I don't want to say contender, but they could be right there. The Waves. But I mean, they could legitimately start 0-2 and have, less.
They could be in a hole to start the season.
And then lastly, they play the underdogs. So I would expect them to come out of that 1-2. But when we have that big gap in between the first half of the regular season and the second half of the regular season, they could be sitting 1-2, and we're making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
When really they just played 2 tough teams.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true, because their second half schedule definitely lightens up a bit as well.
It does.
So they'll still have a chance to make it, but that's a tough start for them.
So then that 12:45 is the first broadcast game on Twitter, and that's Storm Bison. And what do you like about this one, Brock?
What do I like about this one? This is a Twitter-worthy game, but I'll tell you, these 2 teams are not some of the best teams in the league, but it is early enough that this game will matter for these teams. And I believe that the Storm are picked up someone or trying to pick up a pitcher.
They did. They did. What's his name? Colby Maz.
Yeah, something like that. So
your age.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is, especially looking at this first session here, their other 2 games are the Rapids and the Bambinos, so this is kind of a must-win game for the Storm, if you ask me. But I think they will win. I think this guy will improve their pitching, and I thought their hitting was fine in the last tournament. But it's kind of a must-win to me for them.
Yeah. I'm looking at this. The Bison couldn't have asked for a better first 2 games.
Yeah.
They played well. They could compete to potentially be 2-0.
Yeah.
At that point, it's a stretch. I wouldn't bet on it, but that's one of the best chances they would have. Do that. Okay, and then at 1:30 we've got 1:30 we've got Underdogs Waves on Facebook. And, the Underdogs, are they really a Facebook-worthy team? Probably not, but, it's the Underdogs.
Yeah.
And they're a classic franchise, and we were like, what? They're going to be on Facebook.
That's true, and I'm excited that they are on Facebook, because this is their 3rd game of the session, and maybe their new team that they have will kind of be acclimated at this point and ready to go. And they'll be playing Adam, who was an underdog. But I'm excited to see
that matchup.
Yeah, I know. But I'm excited to actually see who these guys are and what they can do. So I will definitely be watching this one. Yeah. And I'll be watching all of them. But I'm excited that the Underdogs got a game.
So a couple things that that you may have noticed is the Bambinos ranked number 1 in the league. They don't have a national broadcast game in the first session. Like we said, not everything's perfect. But, I think they should probably be 3-0 looking at this. They get to play the Wrecking Crew in the first game of the season. That would be tough for them, but I would expect them to win.
Yeah.
They get to play the Lynx and the Storm. So I think they should be 3-0.
Yeah, they should definitely be 3-0.
And then another thing to point out is Ty for the Rapids is going to be out for the first 3 games of the season. That's a blow for them.
Yes.
He lives in California now, and even though it's a 3-day weekend,
yeah,
that home for that. So, he's going to be out, but I think they should be able to survive.
Yeah, looking at their schedule, the Storm, Wrecking Crew, and Bison, so they should be able to survive that.
They'll win at least one of those games, if not 2. I don't think they run the table without him.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
They're not going to go 0-3 and be having to claw all the way back in the season.
No. They'll be just fine in this first session, especially with some of the new guys they picked up.
And then the other one's Darren Ayub. He he's not even on the Fog's roster technically right now. He hasn't signed himself, but we're guessing he probably will. He would be out for these first 3 games of their season 2. But I don't. To be quite frankly honest, I don't think it matters as much as Ty. It would still hurt a little bit, but Lucas is that team, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the Fog are going to do what the Fog are going to do in that first session, whether Darren's there or not.
Well, they have a tough schedule anyway. I mean, they open with the Express, then they play the Mafia. Mafia aren't a pushover. And then they play the
Cobras. It is a tough opening schedule.
I mean, they could be 1-2. They could be 0-3.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll be 0-3, but. All right, and then now let's move up. And we should point this out real quick. The trade deadline, which in the rules says halfway through the regular season. So December 1st, in between the first half, or the first session of the season and the second session, December 1st at noon is the trade deadline of the season.
Yes, and then this is, like you said, the second session, and it is at the Castle Rock Middle School under the lights. First game at 7 p.m. I'm excited to watch this one, Cale. San Francisco Cobras, Castle Rock Rapids. Classic game.
Yeah, and if you haven't been pulling this up, I can't remember if we said this at the beginning of the show or not. You should probably go on the website, click on JAL, the JAL 15 tab, XV tab, and scroll along it while you're watching this with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game. I mean, that's just a classic game at this point.
It's always a good game. It's always a fun one to watch.
It's a great way to start the second, half of the regular season there.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect it to be. Ty will be back.
Yeah, it'll be his first game back. That's a tough first game to jump into, but
it's a certified rivalry now too. It's it's a rivalry. There's not a debate over it anymore.
Oh yeah. And it's definitely a Facebook game.
And it is on Facebook, yes.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we got here. And then at 7:30 we'll get our first action. The outside people will get to see their first action of the Bambinos. Against the Mafia.
Yeah, we actually have us outside people got to take a break for a little while.
Hopefully you'll be in person for this session.
Oh, right. Yeah, true.
But I'm looking at some of these other games on here. Missouri versus Washougal.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, looking at this half of the Fog schedule, they kind of have a tough schedule all the way around, if you ask me.
Well, they do, because they have to play the Cobras in the non-conference.
Yeah. I mean their one game that is really not a very tough game is the Lynx.
Well, I'm going to say this right now.
What?
I don't think the Fog are making the playoffs this season.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with the schedule.
Not even because of schedule. I don't think they're going to make it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Making early predictions.
Yeah. Well, we can get to that.
All right.
Yeah, and then right after you see the Bambinos play, you're going to get to see them play again, because then at 8:30...
Yeah, this is the game. This is the game of the regular season right here.
This is literally the best game that we have that we can put out there.
Yeah.
It's Express.
If you do not miss this game. If you miss any others, watch this one.
And I love how this is going to be under the lights too.
Under the lights, it's at the end of the second session of the regular season.
It's both of their last games.
It could be very influential in playoff positioning.
They could
or maybe making the playoffs, I guess. We never know.
It will not be for that.
No, probably not. But
they will probably both have clinched a playoff spot long before that game.
Yes, and it can be a foreshadowing of what will probably come in the conference finals.
Hopefully.
So that, you want to watch that one.
I like this last one too here at the end. Well, I should say the last broadcasted game of the regular season will be Wrecking Crew Fog at 8:45, and that's on Twitter.
Which could also be an important game in terms of playoff picture.
It could be. But then I like the one too that's at 9 o'clock, literally the last game of the regular season on the schedule. Rapids Waves.
That's a good one.
I think if the Rapids get off to a slow start without a tie, this game could be really big.
Yeah.
And for the Waves too. Like, this game could determine seeding. This game could determine who's in, who's out.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is both teams have improved their roster in the offseason.
Maybe the Cobras don't have a very good season, and this game determines who gets this number 1 seed or not. I don't know.
Yeah, they both teams have pretty good pitching and pretty good hitting, so it's fairly evenly matched, if you ask me.
Yeah.
All right.
To the playoffs.
Yes. So the playoffs will take place, like you said earlier, on December 30th. Also under the lights at Riverside Park. And
where we had the last season.
Yes. And so, Cale, explain the whole live broadcast for the playoffs.
So, as you guys all know, the playoffs now are a 3-game series.
Yes.
So, each series, the NC semis and the AAC semis, like before, they're going to be played at the same time. So we can't be doing the broadcast where it's like, okay, they're going to get game 1, this one gets game 2. This, it just wouldn't work. It's too hard to pull off. So we said, this conference is going to get games 1 through 3 for this round, and then the next round, this conference is going to get games 1 through 3, and then obviously the championship game or the championship series will be one. So the NC finals are going to get Twitter, and the NC semifinals are going to be all on Twitter, and the AC semifinals aren't going to be on anything. So we're sorry for those who are going to want to see that, but the reason we did that is because we want the AC finals.
Yes, we do.
To be on Twitter, and the NC finals won't be broadcast on anything because we're hoping the AC finals. Well, the AC finals, the American Conference is just a better conference.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters who's playing in the conference finals. Like, that's going to be a great series.
Yeah.
And we're hoping.
And yeah. I mean, it's probable that it's going to be Express Bambinos, which would be a great series. So that's why we did that as well.
And then the WWCD Cup games 1 through 3, Facebook.
Yes.
So that's the playoffs.
So that is the master schedule.
Yes.
Right there.
Highlights of it. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, make sure you check it out yourself and look at your team's games as well if you haven't pulled it up yet, because there's a lot of games now. So, yes. It is going to be.
Let's close this off because people probably want, Let's close this off by going through each team and just giving, how we think they're going to finish.
How we think they're going to finish.
Record-wise.
Record-wise. Jeez, okay. Well, where are we starting?
Like, I'm just going to shout the teams at you, and you got to give me your instant, first.
Without looking at the schedule again.
Well, you know the schedule. I mean, they're playing all the conference opponents and one.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, all right.
I'll help you if. Okay, so we'll start. Shoot, I just moved something on my computer here. Okay, here we go. Fog.
I think they're gonna have a tough year. They're gonna win 2 games.
2-4.
2-4.
Yikes. Okay. Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew. I think they could make the playoffs. I'm gonna say 3 games and they squeak in.
So 500.
Yeah.
Okay. And we should note too that a lot of stuff with these teams' rosters could happen between now and then. It's like 2 months away.
Yeah.
A lot could happen.
Yeah.
But Express. Are they gonna go undefeated?
No, they'll lose. I think they'll lose to the Bambinos.
Okay. Are the Bambinos going to go undefeated?
Yes, they'll go 6-0.
6-0.
6-0.
Are they your pick right now to win the whole thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Are they going to run literally the table and sweep everyone?
They could maybe. if they were going to lose one, I think it'd be one of their earlier games, like maybe the first time they play the Express.
Well, that's at the end of the season.
That's true. Well, I mean, if they're going to lose one, it's probably going to be the Express. But right now, I don't see them losing.
I think the Bambinos with their two ace pitchers in Titus and Nate, it's ridiculous. Especially when you get to the playoffs, they will literally just rotate them. They'll go Nate game 1, Titus game 2, Nate game 3, if it even comes to game 3. And their arms will stay fresh, where everyone else will be pitching their ace still. No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Mafia.
Boy, that's a tough one. They're a tough team to get a grasp on.
They get to play the underdogs in their non-conference. That's nice.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say.
I'd give them.
I'm gonna say between 2 and 3 wins, and I don't know if they make it. If they do, they're squeaking in.
Okay, Lynx.
Nah, they ain't making it. They maybe win 1 because they play the Bison, right?
Yeah. I think they're going to upset someone else too. I think they're going to be improved. I think they'll get 2. I think they can randomly beat a team like the Mafia or the Wrecking Crew or the Fog. I think they could knock them off.
Yeah, we can agree that we don't think they're making the playoffs though.
I would say no. Yeah. But see those new rookies they got in action, maybe that could change. Okay, Cobra's on the other side now.
You know what? You guys
undefeated?
No, because you guys always lose. I'm gonna say you guys go 4 and 2.
That's what I'd say too. Who would the losses be?
Who would the losses be? Probably
the Rapids always beat us in the regular season.
Probably I mean that's a good one. You know, maybe the Waves because it's your first game.
I can see that too.
And then I don't know who your non-conference.
Fog.
Fog. Nah, I don't think you lose that one. So maybe the Waves, probably the Rapids.
So you would predict that we lose both those games.
No, I'm predicting you lose 2. I'm saying those are probably the ones that you have the best chance.
Okay, but if you were to just pick, if you were to say Cobras and Waves, Cobras and Waves.
Yeah, I'd still pick the Cobras.
Okay, and then Cobras and Rapids.
Probably Rapids, and then I'd probably have the like you losing to the Fog or something.
Okay. All right, Rapids.
Rapids, I think the Rapids are going to take first. To be honest,
I don't think they will. I think they'll be right there at the end, but I think they're going to go like 1 and 2 without tie. Like really? I honestly think they could finish the season 3 and 3. Because when they get tied back, I don't know if they can run the table and go 3 and 0 in the back half of the season.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm looking at the games that they play without tie, and I think they could win all of them. I mean, it'd be tough and they'd be close games, but I'm still gonna say the Rapids take first. Okay. And if that means that they also go 4 and 2 and the tiebreaker goes to them, then whatever.
All right, Waves. Winning record or 500?
I'm at 500. 500, but they're competitive. Would be my assessment of the Waves right now.
Okay, Storm.
Storm, they're gonna have a tough year. I mean, 2 wins, they're not making it.
Underdogs.
They're gonna be better. They're gonna be improved, I think, but I'd say 2 wins.
And maybe. Bison. Can the Bison pick up a win?
The Bison, you know what? The Bison can pick up a win. They could win their first game against the Lynx.
You know, I think there's not going to be as much pressure on that because like before it was like you get 3 games and that's it.
Yeah.
It was like, well, shoot, if we don't win this one, we only got 2 more chances. We don't win this one, we have like literally 1 chance. Now you got 6 chances to win a game.
Yeah.
You know, if you lose one, it's like we got 4 or 3 more. You know, I don't think it's pressure.
They have a better chance, but the max I would give this team right now is 1 win.
Yeah. So which of those bottom 3 teams? Because the National Conference is pretty. You know, here's the 3. that
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
here's the three that won't. If there was going to be one from the lower half that snuck into the top, who would it be? And who would they be bumping out?
I think it would still be the Storm because they're the most well-rounded team, I think, and they'd probably be bumping out the Waves.
Okay.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
I wouldn't predict it.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to.
All right. Well, you know what? This has been a fun show. You can tell we're excited about the whole new season setup. You know, you'll see why when it gets going. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of you probably already are in agreement with us. We know you are because you said so.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too, and we will see you next time.